Welcome back to Bully Ball San Francisco 49ers podcast. Today, we're joined by a very special guest, three-time captain at UC Davis. It was the first time that's actually happened as well. All-time leader in rushing and all-purpose yards at UC Davis as well, and a multi-time All-American, Ulonzo Gilliam. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Appreciate y'all having me on.
Yeah, thanks for coming on for sure.
Yes, sir. All right, let's just jump right into these questions. So, growing up, did you only play football or did you play other sports as well? And in football, were you a running back only?
So I grew up playing. So I started off by playing soccer and basketball and baseball. So I didn't even start off by playing football. I didn't get into football until my fourth grade year. I was about 8 years old, 8 or 9. And that's when I switched from soccer to football. But yeah, I've always been a running back from the get go. I played on defense. In youth, I played a linebacker. But then once I got older in high school, they moved me a defensive back. So yeah,
Awesome.
But I played football, basketball, and baseball all throughout high school. So.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Would you say, we've interviewed a couple of other guys too, and it seems like all of you guys are you guys all play basketball. Do you think playing basketball has kind of helped you, with like some footwork, agility, things like that?
Yeah, I mean, basketball, you can't, it's not all one speed. Like football, you can kind of just, get the ball and start running. I think, basketball, taught me how to, have those different gears, you know what I mean? Slow down, speed up, you know what I mean? Explode and, and of course you jump a lot in basketball. So I think I got my hops from, playing basketball over the years.
And you said soccer. How did that help you out? Because we don't really get many people that have played soccer.
Yeah, I mean, I was young when I was playing it. I can't really, can't do on TV that you see these guys doing now with the soccer ball and stuff like that. So it was really at a really young age just to get me out there running. I guess my parents didn't want to put me in football yet. So soccer it was during the same season. So keep me busy really that's all it was for. But I enjoyed it as a kid. I was kind of just use my athleticism and and skills kind of get around those kids. But I enjoyed it.
Yeah, definitely. Got a young Messi out here.
Yes, sir.
So, coming out of high school, you went to Merced High School, right?
Yes, sir.
Gotcha. What did your recruitment look like? You were a 2-star, correct?
Yes. So I mean, I didn't know I was a 2-star until after the fact. But I only had one scholarship coming out of high school, and they offered me like it was like a late offer. It was like in January, and they had came after my season, and gave me a partial scholarship to UC Davis, and that was my only option. I had some walk-on opportunities at like Fresno State, San Jose State, and stuff like that. But I decided to take where they're going to pay me to go to school and stuff like that. So I decided to stick with Davis and play there. So
yeah,
And that's a little crazy because I was reading, I didn't write it down, but in high school you were like the Mid California Player of the Year or something, right? For
So yeah,
football.
Central Valley Offensive Player of the Year, stuff like that. In our conference, and I was up there for like the Northern California things too. But yeah.
Why do you think you didn't get a lot of interest, or like at least scholarships from these other schools? Why do you think that was?
I think it just has to do with, my area. Not a lot of guys come from Merced, California. It's kind of crazy. My best friend that I'm staying with right now, he was at Fresno State, and we're the only two people that kind of are still playing football at a collegiate level. But I think my area had to do something with it. But I always kind of wondered, why I always felt like my talent was good enough to play at the next level. But I have other factors. Where I'm from. I'm not a huge running back. I'm only 5'8". and things like that. People kind of might put some doubt in some people's minds, but I mean, if you watch my film, I put up numbers, and I think that's all that matters. So, but I kind of took it on the chin and accepted the fact that gave me that chip on my shoulder to outperform the people around me. When I'm given the opportunity, and I felt like I made the most of it.
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
100%.
And so, you said you went to UC Davis over the other schools because they're giving you the scholarship, right? But, what else was kind of appealing to you about UC Davis instead of, walking onto the bigger schools?
Yeah, of course, it's the academics. One thing about UC Davis is, getting a bachelor's degrees from UC Davis is not easy, and I feel like it has its own standard of having a diploma from UC Davis, and I wanted to be in the medical field, so I started off as a biochem major. So I want to do like the doctor route. I kind of gave that up, and I want to do like physical therapy, but I feel like UC Davis has prepared me for that. Because I changed to human development major, so I want to do physical therapy, and it helped me just understanding the psychological side of things, and a lot of things doing on the medical side of the ball. So I felt like that was a good fit for me coming out of high school.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Super cool. You said you were 5'8". So how would you describe your playing style?
I would describe my playing style as, being versatile, being able to run between the tackles and catch out the backfield, being able to make guys miss on a consistent basis, and, being able to pick up blocks. I'm a smaller back, but I feel like I bring a lot. I'm not going to, probably run through everybody, but, I could definitely get you yards, and that's my whole thing is making guys miss and knowing how to leverage myself and use my abilities, my quickness, my ability to my quickness from side to side to make guys miss, and I think that's what describes me as a back.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
Your tape definitely shows it too.
Yeah. And so, you had a great career over there at UC Davis. How did the COVID year affect you, though? You guys, that year is pretty much canceled.
Yeah.
And then you go on to have a 5-game spring season, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And you end up getting injured. How was that whole process? And then you probably went from spring to fall football, right? How do you make that recovery as well? That's insane to me.
Exactly. Yeah, it was weird. Because other teams, I think other FBS schools were playing. They actually played the fall season, but we didn't wait until we had to wait until spring. But initially, like going into that summer, we were basically getting ready for a fall because we didn't know at the time that we were going to be in the spring. So we were getting ready for fall. I remember we had to have like 4 different practices with 4 different groups of, we had to go on the field and not use a ball and stuff like that. And it was kind of hectic, just it being so uncertain of if you're going to have a season or not. But once we found out we weren't going to have a fall season, we had a regular, we kind of ran a camp through the fall season just to kind of stay in shape and stuff like that. And then by the time, spring came around, we were ready. And yeah, it was kind of unfortunate that, got hurt, during that season. And, I was discussing it with my coaches and stuff, and they decided just to sit me out for the rest of that season. We could have went to the playoffs, but we chose not to start getting ready for the upcoming season of next year, of the year after. So, but it was weird. It was kind of hectic, and some people didn't come back from because we all got to go home, and then. Some people didn't come back to train or anything because, COVID was kind of scaring everybody at the time. So, we had half of our team and stuff like that. And so it was just all hectic. But I mean, it gave a lot of opportunities to the younger guys to step up and stuff like that. So we had a good season for the most part. So.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
definitely.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So against Montana State, you rushed for 127 yards, caught 4 passes for 23 yards. You returned 2 punts, and, you threw a 22-yard touchdown pass, which is very reminiscent of a guy that plays on the 49ers, Christian McCaffrey. He had a similar stat line against the Rams last year.
Yeah.
What would you say leads you to be such a versatile player?
I think I'm just so open-minded, man. I just want to win. And I told my coaches, I'm down for whatever. I just want to put me in the best position to help my team win. And I feel like that motive in my mind and my mindset alone just helps me be able to do that. A lot of people are kind of, one-dimensional or kind of, don't like to be uncomfortable or put in a different position. But I'm so open-minded, and I just want to do whatever it takes to win. And I think that helps me being so versatile and be able to catch the ball out of the backfield and make a touchdown pass. So I'm for it all, man. I just want to win at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's awesome. So for this next question, I got to give some context to the people watching the show. So over your career, you rushed for 4,617 yards, 44 touchdowns, and you caught 214 passes for 1,411 yards and 7 touchdowns. So a total of 51 touchdowns if you include that passing touchdown in your career. How does it feel to be first in program history in rushing yards and all-purpose yards?
Yeah, it was kind of crazy thing because, you don't really go into college, thinking, oh, I'm gonna break all these records. I'm just glad to have the opportunity to play collegiate ball. You know what I mean? And going into this last year and knowing that I have records that I could possibly break, it was kind of crazy. And I just try to stay focused. Not think too much about the records. I just felt like if I just do me, the other stuff will come. And it was more of a outside noise, an outside talk for the media and stuff like that. And I'm just it's definitely a blessing. And I'm just glad I was able to do it with the guys on the field that I was able to do it with, man. And I couldn't do it without them, the coaching staff and the whole Davis community, really. So I just want to shout out them. And it's not only my record, it's their record too. So
yeah, definitely. Speaking of that receiving ability, what would you say, what's kind of helped you be such a natural pass catcher out of the backfield, because a lot of running backs kind of have trouble with that. So what's kind of helped you be that natural pass catcher?
just being able to catch from a young age. I remember growing up, my dad used to throw the ball so hard at us to make sure we can catch. He'll throw it straight at our face. So if we missed the catch, we was getting popped in the face. And he kind of tells that story a lot. And looking back on it, I think that's the reason why I could catch very good. And I don't have the biggest hands, or I'm not making Odell Beckham Jr. catches, but when the ball comes my way, I do have a determination of going to get it and making something happen after that. But I think just my style of play and how fast I could go from reading if I need to pick up a block to getting out, what I mean, is because over the years I developed that. I feel like because when I first got there, I was kind of worried. Okay, just make sure nobody comes in and hit the quarterback. But as my eyes got quicker and the game started slowing down, I was able to do that a lot more. And just giving my quarterback an extra option in case he doesn't have anything further down the field. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
That's awesome. When did you realize that playing pro football could be a possibility for you?
I mean, obviously it's always been a dream of mine. But I think going to college and just having a starting position, it's not easy to get a starting position in the collegiate level. And, I remember seeing, my first game against San Jose State, this 2018. I remember seeing NFL scouts there. I was like, man, this is crazy. Like, I mean, I don't know if they was watching me or not, but because there's other people on the field also. But right then and there, and we had Keelan Doss. He was a receiver, my freshman year, and he balled out and got invited to the combine and got picked up by the Raiders as a free agent. But I was working out with him the whole time, and the whole time he was there, and just having that belief, that work ethic. We had that same work ethic, so I know if he could make it, I definitely had a chance if I kept that same mindset and worked hard. So
Yeah, 100%. This might be a tricky question, kind of going off the top of your head, but do you have a favorite, moment in your football career, whether it's a certain game, in your youth, high school, college, or a certain play that you remember vividly? Do you have like a favorite moment just off the top of your head?
favorite moment off the top of my head, I could just think of it was 2018. We won the year we won the conference championship at Davis, but it wasn't the championship game. It was we played Idaho State and we went into overtime and we were down that whole game, and we fought back and we ended up coming back, blocking a field goal, or they missed a field goal to win it, and we went into overtime and we won them in overtime, throwing a 2-point conversion, and just the just the joy from all my teammates and the fans and things like that, man. Just seeing everybody happy and the Davis community just come together after that. It was a great moment, as a Davis football player, man. And that's one moment that off the top of my head that is going to stay with me for the rest of my life for sure. I just remember the crowd, yelling when we scored that 2-point conversion and us running off the sideline, and it was definitely a historical moment for us, historical season. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, those nail biters always, they're always the ones.
Yeah.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
So, being a 3-time captain, what was your leadership style like? Were you the loud guy getting everyone pumped up, the quiet guy leading by example? How'd you lead the team?
I would say a little bit of both. I'm not the hooting, hollering kind of guy. But also, I just feel like people had that trust in me. They see what I did on the field and how I worked off the field, whether that be in class or, during, off-season workouts. You know what I mean? And I hold a certain standard to myself, and I feel like people respected that at a young age, and they had that belief in me to lead them. And once I realized that people have that trust in me, it opened me up to talk more and to motivate more and to hold people to that same standard I hold myself. You know what I mean? And I would want them to hold me to the same standard, that same standard also. You know what I mean? And I think it was just more about trust and teammates. Most of my friends, even though I played on the offensive side of the ball, most of the people that I hung around with were defensive players. So I felt like I had that camaraderie with both sides of the ball, because in some teams, the defense and the offense are kind of separated and stuff like that. So I felt like I was a bridge between the two, and ultimately, that's what you need to win a championship. So
Yeah, definitely. Joe, go ahead, take this next question too.
All right. So, you did play a bunch of FBS teams in your college career, and you produced very well against them. So, you played Cal one year, you had 150 total yards, a touchdown. San Jose State, I believe it was the game you mentioned.
mhm.
You had 190 total yards, 3 touchdowns, and then Cal again, 100 yards and a touchdown. How does just playing against those top level teams show that your game can translate to the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, of course, we kind of go into those games, with an extra, umph in our system type thing, just because it's a big game. It's one of the biggest games of the year, and we're going against FBS schools. But we always took pride in ourselves, and I know the media kind of thinks going into that game, you know the FBS school has the upper hand and is going to win. But we knew our capabilities. This is every year we play the FBS school. We beat San Jose State. We beat Tulsa. Came close to beating Cal both of the years. They just kind of, over edged us. But, we definitely believe our capabilities and didn't go into that game thinking, we're going to lose. We wanted to win each and every one of those games. And, some of them we pulled out and some of them we lost. But, that was the kind of mindset going into those games. But translating into the NFL, I feel like those games were important, just because, it shows that I can produce on the next stage. I know they kind of look at the FCS and FBS as, kind of two categories of skill play, whatever the case may be. But, I kind of went into those games, wanting to ball out just to show, NFL scouts and stuff that I can, play at the next level.
Yeah, and I believe I was watching some tape. I believe it was the Cal game this year. You guys played them this past year, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching some Daniel Scott, the safety for Cal, and you were just jumping off the film the whole game. I think you had like a 65-yard touchdown or something. I was like, man, who's this guy? And that's where I first saw you playing.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, definitely. Who are some NFL running backs that you try to model your game after?
I would say LaDainian Tomlinson, and a Barry Sanders. Just because we're about the same height, and the ability to make people miss is crazy. But that's why I try to model my game after. In today's game, probably like Josh Jacobs. Yeah, so that's what I was comparing my game to, or who I would try to model it after.
What about Austin Eckler?
Oh yeah,
Austin Eckler is pretty similar too, actually.
A lot of people I've talked to also say that we have similar, running styles. Because we, because he could catch out of the backfield too. The Chargers really give him the ball, like that. So I could definitely see that too. So
yeah, definitely.
What player or players in the NFL do you look forward to going up against the most on defense? It could be D lineman, linebacker, safety, whatever.
Yeah. If I ever come across Aaron Donald, I know I know that's every time I watch him play, just because he's just so dominant and you can't even double team him. That's something I'm looking forward to, just to say I did it. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. Man, I would say, Jalen Ramsey. I can't even name all the other people because there's just so much talent. So much talent at the NFL level. But I'm looking forward to everybody, to meeting up with everybody and kind of seeing where my skills are, compared to theirs. So
awesome.
Yeah, we get you to the Niners, be banging heads with Fred Warner every day.
Oh yeah,
so that'd be a good matchup too. Yeah. So the 49ers attended your pro day.
Yeah.
Were you able to speak with them, and have you been in contact with them or met with them since that pro day?
Yeah, so I was able to talk to him at pro day, and we had a good conversation, and then I had a text from the Niners, the running back coach. I forgot his name, but he had texted me probably like a week after the pro day, saying he's going to be in contact with me throughout this whole draft process and stuff like that. So I just been kind of, it's now just a waiting process, see how this draft goes. Hopefully my name gets called, but, I definitely think I'm going to have an opportunity, with the Niners or somewhere else. So I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Definitely.
Was it Anthony Lynn or was it Bobby Turner?
I think Bobby Turner.
Bobby?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Have you been in contact with any other teams?
Yeah, so I've been in contact with the Raiders, the Chargers, the Dolphins, the Texans, and the Rams. So
all run kind of similar offenses too.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited about this whole process. It's a dream come true.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. And, say the NFL doesn't work out as your first stop.
Mhm.
Would you consider playing in one of these newer leagues, the, XFL or USFL,
Yeah.
and try to get back into the NFL through those pathways?
Yeah, so I have teammates that I play with that are in the XFL. I have a quarterback, Jake Mayer. He's in the CFL right now, and they're all balling out. So I definitely think that if the NFL doesn't work out, I definitely will still have an opportunity through another outlet to get back into the NFL. So I would definitely consider the XFL and USFL and stuff like that. But the goal is ultimately to get to the league and to the NFL. But I know how things go, and I would definitely consider that.
Awesome.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What would you say to like the kids that are out there, that aren't these huge giants, these athletic specimens, 6 foot, crazy?
Yeah.
What would you say to them, that are kind of pursuing the same goal or even just trying to make it to college? What are some motivation that you would give, to these smaller kids?
Yeah, it'll just be to have faith in yourself. You can't really depend on somebody else to label you or to give you, stars or in the recruiting process. That doesn't label you at the end of the day. I know it'll be cool to post online, who you're getting recruited by and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, if you have that dog in you and you really determined to make things happen, you will. And I was just advising them to keep pushing. You know what I mean? I seen a video, and Deion Sanders said, if you make plays, keep making plays. Like, don't worry about the other stage. Just keep making plays, and you're eventually going to be seen, and your talent's going to be recognized. So I would just say keep pushing and keep having belief in yourself. Don't second guess your ability. Work hard, stay consistent and disciplined, and you know gotta take care of it. So
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Um,
And yeah,
I have another similar question. What would you say to these critics that are like, "Oh, he's too small. He comes from too small of a school. He hasn't played against, D1 talent." What would you say to these critics about yourself? What would be your pitch to them?
yeah, I mean, without being kind of stern, I'll just say look at the film. You know what I mean? I feel like I could, you could, if you look at my film, you see that I produce on the FCS level and at the FBS level, with what's name, and I feel like my running style is translatable to the NFL. I'm able to run between the tackles. I am able to be patient. I feel like I have, you know, top tier vision into finding holes and stuff like that. I can catch out of the backfield. So, looking at my numbers and the stuff I put up, regardless of what level it's on, I still had to run those yards. I still had to catch those passes. I still had to make those dudes miss. So, um, you know, to me, it's the same thing. But I know how kind of political it gets. But I would just say, look at the film and look at the numbers I put up, and you could see it for yourself.
yeah. We hope you get a chance with the 49ers because they don't give a damn about the politics
No,
when it comes to undrafted players. Once you're in camp, you're in camp. It don't matter really where you're drafted.
yeah,
49ers have had an undrafted person make the team, I believe, the past 5 years, every single year, at least one.
yeah,
So, you just got to take your chance and run with it with whoever it's with.
facts.
Yeah, especially at the running back position for the 49ers. Elijah Mitchell was a
Mhm.
6th or 7th round pick. Jordan Mason last year, I think, was
Undrafted.
undrafted.
Yeah.
Yeah, another undrafted guy, made the roster and actually had some playing time. My last question, growing up Northern California, who was your favorite football team? And I'm hoping this goes one way and not that other way that it could
Uh,
go.
it's crazy because I grew up a Raider fan.
Ah,
So
damn.
me and my immediate family compared to the rest of our family. So the rest of my family's huge and they're all 49er fans. And my dad, I guess he wanted to be different when he was younger or whatever the case may be. Decided to be a Raider fan, and I just grew up a Raider fan. But I'm not. I don't dislike the 49ers. I don't have that. I like football at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And I'll sit there and watch them because the Raiders haven't been doing good over the last couple of years. So, I would sit there and watch the Niners and see them produce. But at the end of the day, I like football, so I don't have anything against any team. Regardless if they're rivals or not. But yeah.
Yeah, definitely. You got anything else, Joe?
No, but I did want to say, speaking of being fans, we love your tape. We love talking to you. Seem like a great guy, and we wish you well on the journey. And you have fans in us forever. We
Appreciate that.
we bring on a ton of prospects, and we love that you guys take some time to get to know us and tell us your story. So we'll be following your journey no matter where you go.
Cool. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate the opportunity to come on here.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Yes,
good luck
sir.
in the draft, and hopefully we see you in that red and gold, man.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully we see it.
And
All
if
right.
you do end up on the 49ers, we hope to have you back on here next year.
Facts.
Yeah, definitely. All right.
All right.
Thanks.
I appreciate you guys.
Thank
Have a
you.
good one.
All right, bye. You too.
Send it back.